Yes, it's that time of year when film fans get all excited. They have lengthy discussions over which film should win Best Picture. It is the Oscars. The nominations, due to be announced last week, were postponed after the voting period was extended because of the wildfires there, which would have been affecting, I should think, quite a few of the judges, the panels, etc. So today is the day that we're going to find out what and who is up for a gong at what will be the 97th Academy Awards. Let's speak to Jamie Skinner, who is a film journalist from Midsummer Norton. Jamie, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
meet
having
you. Go on then, top films. What are the big ones this year? I was trying to think. They weren't obvious, like Barbenheimer 2023. I didn't feel like there was such an obvious couple of films this year.
Well, as you say, last year, Barbenheimer, there were so many big hitters, big name directors. So we had Scorsese, Christopher Nolan, Greta Gerwig. And this year, it's very much a case of debut features or genre films, which makes it kind of a much more exciting race. You cited Wicked a couple of minutes ago. Wicked is one of the big films likely to get a lot of nominations later today. And Emilia Perez, the Netflix film from Jacques Audiard, which has been quite divisive. I can't say I'm a fan of it, but it seems prime Best Picture material, so that's likely to do very well as well.
It's funny how often the Best Picture film isn't one that necessarily blew the box office apart, isn't it? It's quite often it's a bit more. I mean, quite a lot of them are successful, but not all of them are huge successes, really.
It tends to be the film that people most agree on, not the most loved film, so to say, although there have been things like Everything Ever All at Once and to some extent Oppenheimer last year. But as I say, it's the film that people most like because of the way it's voted for, which can sometimes tarnish it. You look at Driving Miss Daisy or Coda or Crash. Films are good and fine, but when they win Best Picture, as soon as they're given that title, they're tarnished for life after that.
The Golden Globes happened a couple of weeks ago. We played out an emotional speech by Demi Moore on this programme, and she seemed quite surprised to win that. What can we learn from the Golden Globes this year?
I tend to think the Golden Globes are nonsense, largely because they're just a great big celebrity dinner party. But the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, they have kind of changed up their ways a little bit in recent years. I think that one thing that we could possibly learn, and this happened at the BAFTA nominations as well, is that the substance could do very well. Yes, it reflects Hollywood and that industry, so they're likely to lean towards it. But
this is a Demi Moore one, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah.
But it's a great big body horror film. Such a genre-averse group like the Academy going for that, I think that's great.
Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see if she if the picture's nominated or if she gets the nomination.
I think she's a front runner.
You think for Best Actress?
I think she could very well, but it's either going to be her or Mikey Madison for Anora.
Interesting. Best Actor, who's up for that, do you think?
I think we're going to see Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing. I heard you mention that might be AI. He is a real person. Okay. He was nominated last year for Rustin. He's sensational in Sing Sing, which was one of my films of the year last year. I hope it slips into Best Picture. We might see Daniel Craig for Queer. He's kind of fighting for that fifth spot alongside Sebastian Stan in A Different Man. Many people, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown and Adrian Brody in The Brutalist are kind of leading that category, though. And Ray Fiennes in Conclave.
Okay, so there are some. I was going to talk about British hopes. Obviously, you mentioned Ray Fiennes there, Daniel Craig as well. Anyone else we should be keeping an eye on?
I'd love to. This is kind of the one that I'm hoping for. See Marianne Jean-Baptiste be nominated for Hard Truths. That comes out next Friday, so on the 31st. It's I think Mike Leigh's best film, or one of his best films ever that he's done. One of his best films in years. She is on another level in that film. She got the BAFTA nomination. Might have a slight outsider's chance of the Oscar nod, but it's just one of those overwhelming performances. She is stunning in that film.
What about the flops? We've talked about the ones here who are doing well. You haven't mentioned Gladiator 2. You haven't mentioned Dune Part 2. Big blockbusters. They don't always do well at the Oscars. Is that because they weren't that great,
I think
Jamie?
Gladiator 2 might have been slightly divisive, so that might just be outside of the conversation. It might pick up some technicals. Dune Part 2, it was huge, and you said a big blockbuster. One of the biggest films of the year. And there was a lot of awards chat around it when it first came out, and that's kind of dipped away. I think it will get a Best Picture nod. It will pick up some technicals. Denis Villeneuve missed out on a Best Director nod for Part 1, and I think he might do that for Part 2 as well. And I think a lot of people are just waiting for the third part that's been announced, and that's kind of damaged it because it'll be a bit like Lord of the Rings. It'll be, well, we'll give it to you when the third one comes out.
Right, okay, so they wait for the big finish, yeah. Okay, so if I had to say, put your money on the line here, Best Picture is going to...
So predicting the winner already?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the moment it does seem to be Emilia Perez, which I don't like, but I'm gonna go for Conclave at the moment because it's the one that's most consistently liked.
Okay, there we go. Thanks very much, Jamie. Great to meet you. Thanks so much for coming in. That's film journalist Jamie Skinner. You can see his reviews online. If you search for Jamie Skinner, you'll be able to find a lot more of those on there. It's BBC Radio Somerset. Good morning, Charlie here live on Breakfast. Got another hour of the show.